Have you ever met someone who completely changed your life? Someone who cares about you, someone who gives you confidence, and most importantly, somebody who believes in you. Somebody who can see something in you that even you can't see. Hello, I'm Mike Hayes, and today's video is a special one because I'd like to introduce you to someone who has made an enormous impact on my life in ways that I never even expected. His name is Bunny Hodgins, and he was my first guitar teacher. Later on in the video, I'll tell you a story about Bunny that you might find hard to believe. And to be quite honest, I don't blame you. I still find it hard to believe, and I was there. So stay tuned so you don't miss the story, and pun intended about the stay tuned bit. You'll see what I mean when you hear the story. Well, I think it'd be fair to say that this guitar thing, or should I say obsession with music, has been going on my entire life. And it seems to me that I've always known what I wanted to do. You see, I believe some people hear music while others feel the music. And I tend to think that I would fall in the second category. As a youngster, I'd lay on the floor in front of the radio, rocking my head from side to side to the music, which probably explains some of the strange things going on in my brain these days. Whenever there was a parade on or a march, I'd head down to the street and follow the band up the entire length of the street. In particular, what took my interest was the pipe bands, the Scottish pipe bands, and I really loved the rhythms the drummers played. Later on, when I got to around the age of 9 or 10, I started making my own guitars. And I'd have to say, looking back on it, there is probably a few design flaws with them. At school, whenever they'd ask, what do you want to be when you grow up? Well, a guitar player, of course. What else would I want to do? Of course, one fateful day, they had a music test for the school, and it's my sad duty to report that I got the second lowest mark in the entire school. Luckily for me, this was back in the day of snail mail, so I was able to intercept the letter to my parents about the result. It really wasn't the positive type of thing you wanted them to hear for somebody who was really hell-bent on playing music of some sorts. Anyway, when it came to my 13th birthday, this whole guitar thing surfaced again. And my mum asked me what did I want for my birthday, and I saw this guy playing a guitar on my way to school. We were in the car and I saw this guy playing a guitar on the front stairs of his house. And of course, bingo, back came this whole guitar thing again. So I said, well, a guitar for my birthday, that would be great. This was on a Friday and my birthday was on the Saturday. So the fantastic news was that Saturday morning I had this guitar, and I'll never forget brushing across the open strings. I'll never forget just the sound, how wonderful it sounded. It was probably really very badly out of tune, but I got a heck of a buzz out of the sound that it made. And then my mum said, well, we've got another surprise for you. Well, I was already over the moon about the guitar. What else could I possibly get? This was outrageously exciting. And she said, we've got you some lessons, and they start this afternoon. Well, I was devastated. I had no interest in lessons at all. All I wanted was the guitar. But I knew this was part of the deal, so begrudgingly I trotted off to lessons that afternoon and that's where I met Bunny Hodgins. And I'd have to say that was the one thing that really made all the difference. Well, as I've just mentioned, this whole guitar lesson idea was not something I wanted to get involved in at all. I just wanted to get a guitar and mess about with it. However, as it turns out, taking lessons off Bunny was the very best thing that could have happened. First up, Bunny was a real player. He had a lot of real world experience. So the old phrase of those who can't play teach does not apply in this situation. Right out of the gate, Bunny taught me how to learn to read music, how to construct chords, and most importantly, we played songs. Bunny had this giant 1001 deluxe Albert's songbook, and he would open up the book and call out a page, call out a song number, 205, and I didn't know any of these songs. So 205, and we'd start playing. Then it'd be 306, and off we go. I really liked the tunes, however. The tunes were all songs from the 30s and 40s. Bunny was born in 1909, and he grew up playing minstrel shows and vaudeville shows, and he played banjo. Let's have a listen to a little bit of Bunny playing now, so you get the idea. You can really hear the personality in his playing. And in the background you'll hear a little 14-year-old Mike strumming along, or tagging along, or maybe getting dragged along, trying to play banjo and keep up with Bunny. Let's have a listen. Right then, you're probably all thinking, for goodness sake, Mike, stop yakking and get on and tell us the story about Bunny that you mentioned at the beginning of the video. Actually, I could tell you lots of stories about Bunny, but I'll keep it to just one for this video. Lessons at Bunny's would quite often go for several hours on a Saturday. And on this particular Saturday, Bunny said, "Do you want to come with me up to the hall? I have to tune up for a concert that I'm playing tonight." I thought, sure, what could possibly go wrong? So he said, "Okay, just wait for me out front while I lock up." Several minutes later, out comes Bunny. No car and no banjo. And I thought, well, you're the student. This is not the time to be a smart aleck and mention that to him. He will no doubt notice that very soon. So now he says, let's head off. Okay. So there's no car, so we're obviously walking. For goodness sake, he must notice that he hasn't got the banjo. Anyway, no, I'm not saying anything. We get up to the hall, and the hall was open because they were getting all the preparations organised for the concert. Bunny walked up to the piano, lifted the lid of the piano. I could see he was listening very intently. He played a note on the piano, then closed the lid on the piano, turns to me and says, "Right then, let's head on back." I'm wondering what the heck is happening, or in fact, what just happened. So anyway, we're trotting off back to his flat. Mind you, we're talking all the way, and there's cars whizzing by and everything. We get back home to his flat, he opens up the banjo case, tunes the strings of the banjo, start off with the D string, to the sound that he had heard in his head, obviously, because he had no other reference point. And then he said, "Do you want to come to the concert tonight?" And I'm thinking, yes, actually I do, because I'm sure it's going to sound really tragically bad. There's no way in the world could this banjo be in tune with the band at the hall, or the piano for a start. So anyway, I said, yeah, I'd like to go along. Now, even as a youngster, you do know if something sounds good or bad. So along comes the concert in the evening. I'm sitting reasonably close to the front, and I'm just sort of cringing. I'm thinking, like, this is going to sound really bad. Anyway, 1, 2, 3 comes the count in, and bam, it sounded really good. How the heck did that happen? Well, obviously, Bunny had developed this incredible sense of remembering the pitch. Now, to relate that to guitar playing these days, and I'm a super big fan of technology because that allows us to do these types of things. But to be quite honest, most guitar players in recent times tune their instruments using an electronic tuner, which means we're training our eyes to hear, which of course will never happen. So it's like anything else. We need to use technology as a tool that helps our musicianship skills. And one way around this is you can just simply listen to the sounds that you're making when you're tuning up. And you can do this by just making a recording on your phone of the sound of a string when it's in tune. Tune it in with your tuner if you like. Then just play the note E, just like that. Just let it ring on. Do that several times. And then instead of going straight to your tuner next time you want to tune up, go to your phone, have a listen to the recording, and start trying to match the tone that you're playing on your guitar with the sound on your phone. Anyway, that's the story about Bunny. Yeah, I still find that really hard to believe. As time went by, I was very fortunate to be able to accompany Bunny at concerts, dances, and at old people's homes. And apart from the absolute priceless experience and music lessons that I learnt from Bunny, I also picked up a lot of life lessons as well. Things like perseverance, dedication, and the power of music to touch and connect with people. And I'm sure many of you have had similar experiences where some special person comes into your life and makes all the difference in the world. I'd love to hear from you. It will benefit everybody in our community. So if you've had some very positive experience in learning the guitar, I'd love to hear from you. Pop them in the comment sections below this video, and that will be really helpful to everybody. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I wish you all the best with your guitar playing, and I look forward to catching up with you again in the next video. Bye for now.